there are no definitive ruins. There is no mention of it in any contemporary Babylonian writings. Even historians are not certain whether such a garden actually existed in Babylon. Yet, ancient writers spoke of a garden where vegetation grew upon massive stone terraces, appearing from a distance like a green mountain rising towards the sky. This is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. But the question is, was it truly one of the ancient world's greatest architectural marvels? Or have we spent millennia believing the story of a wonder whose very location was wrong? Today, we seek the truth behind that lost garden. What exactly were the Hanging Gardens of Babylon? The Hanging Gardens are generally described as a vast terraced garden in ancient Babylon. According to the accounts of ancient writers, the garden was constructed across multiple elevated levels. It featured trees, flowers, greenery, lofty terraces, and a complex water supply system. The Greek writer Diodorus Siculus described the garden's terraces as structures rising in tiers, much like steps. Strabo wrote that special water-lifting machinery was used to draw water from the Euphrates River and deliver it to the garden. In other words, the story is not merely about a beautiful garden. It represents a potentially extraordinary example of ancient engineering.
Babylon, the city behind the legend.
But to unravel the mystery of the Hanging Gardens, we cannot simply look at the gardens themselves. We must look at the city, the place where the story of this wonder originated. Ancient Babylon was no ordinary city. Situated on the banks of the Euphrates River, it was one of Mesopotamia's most important political, religious, and cultural centers. Babylon underwent a major transformation through extensive construction projects, particularly during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar II. The city featured massive defensive walls, significant temples, royal structures, and ornate gateways.
However, water was both the greatest advantage and the greatest challenge for this city. Although the Euphrates flowed past Babylon, delivering water regularly to an elevated, terraced garden posed a massive engineering problem. It was not enough simply to lift the water up. The water had to be conveyed to the upper levels and distributed to the plant roots, while simultaneously protecting the entire structure from damage caused by excess water. That is why the story of the Hanging Gardens is not merely a tale of beauty. It is also a testament to the engineering prowess of the ancients. The mystery deepens further when we look at the writings of Herodotus. He wrote in detail about the walls, architecture, and various features of Babylon. Yet there is no mention of the Hanging Gardens in his account. Did the garden not exist in his time? Or did he simply not see the structure we know today as the Hanging Gardens? And this is where an important point needs to be kept in mind. The seven wonders of the ancient world did not possess any modern archaeological certification. Rather, the list represented a historical compilation of the ancient world's most renowned and extraordinary structures. Consequently, the mere inclusion of a structure on that list does not imply that every detail regarding it is corroborated by contemporary archaeological evidence. Perhaps this is why the Hanging Gardens remain one of history's most intriguing enigmas, a wonder whose legend endures, yet whose tangible traces remain lost. Who built it? According to the prevailing account, the Hanging Gardens were built by Nebuchadnezzar II, who ruled Babylon in the 6th century BC. An ancient tradition holds that he created these gardens for his wife, Amytis of Media, to remind her of her lush, mountainous homeland. However, there is an important caveat here. There is no evidence in Babylonian records to support the story involving Amytis. In other words, this is not a confirmed historical fact. Rather, it is part of a later ancient tradition. Where is the evidence for the Hanging Gardens of Babylon? We know a great deal about ancient Babylon. Babylonian records contain extensive information regarding the construction projects of Nebuchadnezzar II. However, there is no definitive mention of the Hanging Gardens in those records. Furthermore, even after extensive archaeological excavations in Babylon, no structure has been found that can be conclusively identified as the Hanging Gardens. For this reason, the Hanging Gardens remain the most controversial of the seven wonders. What did ancient writers say? The most well-known descriptions of the Hanging Gardens come from later Greek writers. We learn from subsequent writers that Berosus, a priest from Babylon, wrote about the gardens around the 3rd century BC. Later, writers such as Diodorus Siculus and Strabo also describe the gardens. But the problem is, their accounts were written centuries after the time of Nebuchadnezzar II. In other words, we have the story of a wonder with later written descriptions, but no contemporary Babylonian evidence from the time it supposedly existed. Perhaps the garden was never actually in Babylon. Some modern researchers believe the Hanging Gardens were actually located in Nineveh, not Babylon. Nineveh was the capital of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. Its ruler, Sennacherib, adorned the city in the 7th century BC with a massive palace, gardens, and sophisticated water systems. Evidence of ancient water management infrastructure, including the Jerwan Aqueduct, has also been found near Nineveh. For this reason, some researchers suggest that later Greek writers might have confused the gardens of Nineveh with those of Babylon. How strong is the Nineveh theory? Archaeological and textual evidence of ancient royal gardens has been found in Nineveh. There is evidence that Sennacherib constructed vast gardens and waterworks in his capital. Some researchers even suggest that these gardens at Nineveh might be what later became known as the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. However, it must be remembered, this is not a proven fact. It is a significant scholarly theory. So what is the truth? Today, we cannot say with certainty where the Hanging Gardens were located. 3 main possibilities emerge. First, the gardens were indeed in Babylon, but physical evidence of them has been lost over time. Second, the gardens were in Babylon, but later writers exaggerated their size and beauty. Third, the gardens described in the stories actually belonged to Nineveh and were later attributed to Babylon. 1,000 years have passed. We have found archaeological evidence of massive structures in Babylon, such as its palaces, walls, and the Ishtar Gate. But the Hanging Gardens of Babylon? We still lack definitive proof of their existence. Perhaps they truly existed. Perhaps we simply haven't discovered their ruins yet. Or perhaps the greatest error lies within the very name of history's most famous lost wonder. It may never have been in Babylon at all. And that is why the Hanging Gardens of Babylon remain more than just an ancient wonder. They remain an unsolved mystery
of history.
Stay tuned to Wonder Vault of History to discover more stories of wonders and mysteries lost in the pages of history. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe now and hit the bell icon, because in the next episode, we will return to uncover another lost mystery from history. See you in the next story.